What's up, SNA fans? This is Super Ninja Austin back here with another wrestling news video, and this is the episode 18 of the wrestling news part 37 video. We're going to be talking about the wildest wrestling news stories and rumors that you SNA fans need to know, and it's going to be coming from the Fightful Select news article, and it's gonna be for today's daily video on November 11th, 2023. We got some Rocky Romero news now as he's sending a young lion to Ring of AEW / Ring of Honor would be cool. It would help them gain experience. And Rocky Romero thinks sending young lions to AEW could be beneficial. New Japan Pro Wrestling uses a young lion system with its young wrestlers who are sent a exer, exer, excursions to other companies so they can gain experience. Give New Japan Pro Wrestling sorry, dang it. This is my dang it, why did they have to call the company so they can gain experience? Given New Japan Pro Wrestling's working relationship with AEW or All Elite Wrestling, full proper name for for the All Elite promotion, and by extension, Ring of Honor. Some fans have wondered whether the Young Lions could make their way to either company at some point. In an interview with Paralyst, Romero was asked about the idea of potentially sending Young Lions to AEW. He said, "I think that would be cool. What's cool about AEW setup is, sending a young lion to the Ring of Honor show and starting them there, building them up to Rampage, Collision, and even upgrade the Dynamite." Well, he did say upgrade, but he said and even Dynamite. That could be cool and kind of give them that experience, Romero said. Romero was also asked to name current young lions that are standing out. Romero highlighted like Kosai, Fujita, and and shared his thoughts in New Japan Pro Wrestling's future as he pointed to Yuya Imura, Shota, Shota Umino, and Rin Norita, as some bring some bright young stars. This is what he said. He was like, Kosei Fujita is a great standout. I mean, honestly, there's so many why like wow Ryo Ryo Hey Ryo uh I Awa Oya Oiwa is a great Oya is a great standout. I'm excited for this next batch of young lions to actually go out into the world and kind of see what happens, because obviously this one that just came back, Yuya uh, Yuya you you Murra, yeah, Yuya Murra, Wayne Narita, and Shota Umino, which I believe that's the guy that had faced Eddie Kingston for the New Japan Strong Openweight Championship. I don't know which AEW event he wrestled in, but but Rocky Romero wants this guy also on in New Japan. Is like him again, like Shota versus Will Ospreay was insane the other night. He said, I think that New Japan's new generation is firing on all cylinders. I'm not even worried about the future at all. I think that we've really been blessed with a great batch of young guys, he said. And he also said he talked about he had a couple of things to say about Mercedes Moné, but that's in another wrestling news video. But anyways, but yeah, what do you think about Rocky Romero wanting guys into like these young guys in New Japan Pro Wrestling to go to Ring of Honor / AEW? Sound off in the comments below. I would say it will probably make sense in a way to bring them to Ring of Honor, even though it even though I'm not sure if that would make entirely make sense. Like, you should have Ring of Honor be like the second dairy company, rather than a developmental company. But it's but showed like young guys before that showed young wrestlers before that they if they can succeed in on there, they can upgrade to AEW and show their talent there. Like, you can name them like AR Fox and the like AR Fox and Shane Taylor and Top Flight's Darius Martin and even what's his name and Dante Martin and the Renegade Sisters, like with Charlotte and Robin Renegade, and even who else that came from Ring of Honor? Um, and so many more. I would say I'm not sure. Got they started in Ring of Honor and they brought their talent to AEW. And I mean they can be the same with New Japan / Stardom wrestlers that 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 their contracts expired, they can go over to All Elite Wrestling and get their start in Ring of Honor, like those wrestlers I named with you. And he also talked about CM Punk potentially coming to New Japan Pro Wrestling as well, which that's in another wrestling news article. Hopefully, we get to that as well. But yeah, sound off in the comments what you think about bringing these young guys to NJPW. And we got some Maven Maven says superstars might make up uh, like to 10% more in pay for being on WWE Raw during his time in WWE. It says right here, Maven talks about the pay difference between being on WWE Raw and SmackDown when he was an active competitor. During his time as a WWE superstar, Maven got to experience being on both Raw and SmackDown. In a recent video with his YouTube channel, Maven discussed the differences between both brands during his time as a wrestler and for WWE, revealing that in terms of pay, stars would make up to 10% more for just being on Monday Night Raw. This is what he had to say. Like, getting back to the money aspect of it was noticeably different. Slightly, I mean, you might make like 5 to 10% more just for being on Raw. He said, how did it work during pay-per-views? You might be asking, well, at the time, even though we were running two different shows, right? Raw and SmackDown, we would all merge together and seemingly run a one pay-per-view. This was tricky because certain competitors from each brand would be will be vying for that heavy from each brand would be I mean I mean heavily desired spot on the upcoming pay-per-view because as we discussed in an earlier video at the time, and I know it's not like this now pay-per-view meant money. I mean, you would make so much more money if you were actually on a show than if you were sitting backstage at the monitor watching the pay-per-view. Watching the pay-per-view. Trust me, I was I was on. He said, "Trust me." I was on both sides of that equation, and I know I liked to be on the pay per view rather than in my street clothes on the day of the pay per view. Now, if you weren't on the pay per view, does that mean you didn't get paid? Like, no, of course not. But you're like, you weren't on the show, guys would vi were V for were V for those for those positions on the pay-per-view, because obviously you're in the business to try to make as much money as possible, and you're in this business to prolong your career and advance. Your positioning. The only way to do that is on the biggest stages, and those biggest stages were the pay-per-view. So definitely better to be on the pay-per-view than sitting back in catering and transferring yourself in front of a monitor for the evening. That does not make for a good way to spend a Sunday. Maven was once in the main event of a WWE Survivor Series, coming out on the winning end of the main event of 2024 for spectator. Spectator. Spectacular. I bet this this win afforded him the opportunity to be the WWE Raw General Manager for one night in November 2004. And Maven also had the benefit of challenging for the WWE Intercontinental Championship against Shelton Benjamin at WWE's New Year's Revolution in 2005. In the past, Maven has claimed that there was discussions about putting the Intercontinental Championship on him, but he felt he wasn't ready. But yeah, that's in another article though about him being general manager for a day on the November episode of Monday Night Raw, the post show Raw, I should say, the, the post show Raw after a Survivor Series in that year 2004. And then the following year, New Year's resolution, he faced Shelton Benjamin. What do you think about that? And also, what you thought about Maven explaining that about the difference of Raw of the payouts on Raw and SmackDown? And and what do you think about him explaining that it's 5 to 10% more than getting paid on Raw than SmackDown, because he used to wrestle for both, and that has me thinking like no wonder he mostly wrestled on Raw, because that's more of the paycheck comparison, is that like when it comes to that particular comparison with SmackDown. And and what he thought, yeah, and also he had an opportunity to become IC champion. But previous that year, he also wrestled Triple H and nearly beat him for the championship with the help of Randy Orton, because Triple H won the title right back at him after turning heel. I mean, not right back at him. I mean, he won the title. He won the World Heavyweight Championship against Randy Orton just a few weeks after he beat Chris Benoit, which that's hopefully, this will be the last time I'll mention that name onto a wrestling news video. I mean, this is wrestling news. Anything we could talk about, even if it is Chris Benoit, because this is what the wrestling news articles will talk about on, like, whether it's the Sportskeeda, Wrestle Talk, or Fightful, Ringside News, Wrestling Inc. But anyways, we can talk about more about that later. But sound off in the comments below, and also we're gonna talk about more news now. But yeah, sound off in the comments like about what you think about, and also he said they also get paid whole lot more than being on the pay-per-view than sitting in catering, like which that proves like they pay more of their top stars, that especially if they headline a pay-per-view, whether if they're mid-card, tag team, or even main event stars, like according with not Ray, Maven, what Maven had to say. But let me know what y'all's opinions are in the comment section right down below. Hopefully we get more of these Maven and Rocky Romero news on today's video. But up next, we got some Swerve Strickland news now. Swerve and Drive. He said, okay, we got some Swerve Strickland news now. He admits he wasn't feeling big he wasn't feeling big pressure at first, but trusted those around him. And he almost swerved, which, no pun intended, Swerve Strickland theme song, Big Pressure, has become one of the top theme songs in all of AEW, thanks to Swerve's vibes and Prince Nana's dancing in the music video, which I always keep humming and singing along that song, like every time that song's on my head, or it's in that when Swerve Strickland and Prince Nana make their theme music, like, and I swerve and I drive and like, and they started doing this dance like when like Prince Nana does, which that's getting very hilarious every time watching them making their entrance in AEW television. But like, I even also talk about that sometimes on my wrestling reviews video, like when Swerve Strickland has a wrestling match, but he said that came along with it. Excuse me for a second. Hello? No, you good. I was just doing my SNA wrestling news podcast. You good. I'll do it once a day and then do my wrestling reviews like in the evening. Well, every evening I'll do like 9 to 10 do wrestling reviews like for AEW, WWE, but I'm gonna do Collision like at like 9 or 10 o'clock at tonight like when after Collision goes off the air on TV, and I usually do this like around like 12 or 1, doing my wrestling reviews. Huh? Kind of live right now. Yeah, everything's fine, but yeah, thanks for checking. Yeah. Okay, I'll definitely call you back later on. Yeah. All right, you're welcome. All right. All right, yeah, you're welcome. You have a good one. Mm-hmm. Yeah, bye-bye. All right, SNA back here. Big pressure from making an entrance, and then also the music video that came along with it. Despite the success of the track, Swerve wasn't 100% on board with it when he first hear it. Like, and this is what he said on the Swerve City podcast. Swerve City podcast. He said, "This is what the former AEW Tag Team Champion had to say. One thing that I try to keep in both the wrestling and the music is try not to sacrifice too much of the art. At first, not going to lie, this is probably the first time I ever said it out loud, but the first time when we were making big pressure, I was like, I don't know if I'm feeling it, and I wasn't 100% sure. I trust I trusted Flash. I trusted Prophet, the producer. I trust I trusted Khaled. Like he co-produces on it. These are guys that won a Grammy with Kanye West. Like I kind of had to trust that it was not necessarily the song. I I would make in the type of rhythm that's uh, that's not my art, but it's still art. I'm not sacrificing too much like of my art form from it. It's still me. I have to find me in that song in a sense and where I can find it. Being being adapted adaptable is one of the big things I've learned in wrestling that has translated to other forms. He said on his Swerve City podcast, which I already said that. Hopefully, I didn't say too much, but Swerve said being adaptable has helped him in wrestling and music, like like podcast and also podcasting, like a Swerve City podcast, which it used to be mostly exclusively on Peacock, but only have like him interviewing like WWE wrestlers like the likes of Drew McIntyre and even I would say the likes of Drew McIntyre and others. I'll say mostly Drew McIntyre, but like I can think of right now. Like it also said like Swerve is set to take on Hangman Adam Page at AEW Full Gear for their second match of their feud, and fans can check out the current lineup for the show by looking into the next article from this Swerve City podcast. Like say, but what do you think about Swerve's confession about his song originally? Like, sound off in the comments below, and yeah, I kind of figured he was not sure if he should use it as his theme song. Like when it comes to when it comes to him making his entrance in AEW, but it somehow worked because everybody is so invested to that song. Like even I am, like for being entertained as a pro wrestling fan, like where he make his entrance and then like when it starts off again, I swerve and I drive and I swerve, and then with what's his name and Prince Nana start doing that dance he usually do, which it looks hilariously dumb, and I mean it in a funny way, not dumb like he's really idiotic. Like I'm saying, like it's very entertainingly funny. Like like he does that dance. Like he even makes my sister laugh. Like alongside. Like he's like what in the hell is he doing? Like it's like and then even my sister's like, yeah, he's worse than Stokely Hathaway in a funny way, of course, like like in a expressible, hilarious kind of manner, like not really like he's dumb, but yeah, but but yeah, let me know in the comment section down below what you think. Yeah. But yeah, I think it's given him plenty of success when it comes to having music. And even he was convinced of using it from producers that work with Kanye West. And they won Grammys with him and in the past. So they knew exactly what they were talking about. And when it comes to experience of music. And he's like we had a lot of song hits with the likes of Kanye West, and we know when there's music when we hear it. And you did a really great job onto this one that they were explaining to the current AEW star. And I was like, I mean, not all, and but Swerve Strickland was like, okay, like, okay, like if you say so. I bet he's thanking him to this day. As he even as he explains this to everybody explains onto his Swerve City podcast. But yeah, I think that it's very fantastically inspiring for those who are not sure if they want to dream in music. Do I make this be but please make this be an inspiration for guys like him that's working on his music career. And he's also getting a few success stories out of this, along with him being a pro wrestler. But yeah, we're gonna move on to the next wrestling news and it's Britt Baker news now. Britt Baker updates of saying I'm not the AEW devil, but maybe I would be a good devil. Britt Baker is asked if she's the AEW devil, and on the September 27th episode of AEW Dynamite, fans were introduced to the mystery devil as they led a group attack on Jay White. MJF has been known for wearing a devil mask, but he denied that he was the devil, saying his mask was stolen, which we believe him. Us MJF fans, of course, believe him because I'm not sure if the Bullet Club Gold is still convinced, even though it showed the devil mask on the screen when MJF was obviously in the ring. And then when this devil mask stealing mystery guy, or mystery, I should say, had his boys attack the Acclaim, that's when he came up on the screen, which that double confirms our theories and hunches about who could it possibly be. And it's definitely not MJF, because MJF, if he wanted to attack Jay White into a devil mask, he would have already revealed himself by now. So it's obviously not him, and he does it out in the open. He showed that he done plenty of evil things in the past, but that's not one of them. But and whoever it is, yeah, leave MJF out of the table. And I'm not sure if it is Britt Baker, but it says according to this article, what they heard that they got from today, I guess from this morning, the devil has made consistent appearances since the initial attack, as fans theorized who could could be under the mask. One theory points to Britt Baker, who is tied to MJF's best friend Adam Cole, and made devil horns during a recent AEW women's video, like with Doja Cat, like appearing on 1035 Kiss FM podcast, I suppose. Baker was asked if she's seen the theories, and she said, "I seen." She confirmed. I ask, she's and ask if she the devil. She replied, "I'm not, but then I'm like maybe I would be a good devil. It's not me though, but if I could be, would I be? Maybe maybe then I'm like who is better to stir some sugar honey iced tea up than me?" Which she said, obviously the S word, which I describe as sugar honey iced tea. But anyway, when Britt Baker asked the host who he thought the devil was, he uh, he said he said didn't want to know. Baker agreed that it's better to be left a mystery, saying we don't we don't want to know that. The problem with the internet, they want to fish and prod and want to figure everything out. But when they figure it out, there's they are pissed they figured it out. You can't have it. You can't have it all, she said. Which I agree with Britt Baker. I was like, what's the point of being ticked off? Like if you're the one that somehow figured out the mystery or surprise, you might as well should have kept it as a mystery or a surprise. It's one thing of having a prediction and a theory. That's one thing, but trying to figure it out sooner than when the due date is very unnecessary. It's gonna ruin the surprise. You might as well be surprised, and waiting until when the day has come, like when AEW or WWE show reveals what's the surprise or what's the mystery. Because that's the point in pro wrestling. They're supposed to add things up, until to the point that it's add things onto the fire, throw fuel into the fire. Don't let it burn all at once. Make sure it starts. It'll be slowly grows. Let the fire slowly grow into the fire into the logs or the grill, I should say. This metaphoric statement that I'm making. Make it. I don't do it all at once. Make it make it grow slowly but surely. On onto thinking who could possibly be into the devil mask, for an example. It could be Jungle Boy Jack Perry, it can be Adam Cole, it could be Roderick Strong, it can be Samoa Joe, but I don't think it could be Samoa Joe. Maybe Wardlow, perhaps, or even who could possibly be under the? I'll say more likely an Adam Cole, or I'll believe it will be Adam Cole or what's his name, or Jungle Boy Jack Perry, if you want my predictions. But that's just a theory of mine, or not theory, a prediction. Because if I had a theory, I'll be telling what could possibly be the story. But I'm just predicting who it could possibly be. But I can come up with a theory. I would say Jungle Boy Jack Perry could be revealed under the mask, and he can give a reason why he did that and frame Maxwell and attack the likes of Jay White and the Acclaim. And just to show that I'm just the like just to show that I'm not nothing to play with around here. Like, and not gonna be like the guy I used to be as Jungle Boy. I and then and then the last time he may have beaten me when the last time he faced me into that triple threat match, or not triple threat, that famous fatal four-way match with the four pillars in all elite wrestling. But he but that was where, like, you would probably say that was when I was Jungle Boy, not exactly my real self as Jack Perry. And and the next time we faced off, I will be your new All Elite Wrestling Champion. Which that could be a next feud, but I believe it should be doing like a Wardlow Samoa Joe, or he could gradually say like, but first I'm gonna make an example out of this whole entire roster by beating them down and make sure they do not get that opportunity. Which when Samoa Joe and Wardlow and them that's passed, they're like then we're gonna have possibly MJF against what's his name against Jungle Boy Jack Perry. But what do you think about the comments? But the point is, what do you think about who like about Britt Baker's comments? Do you think she's right like me, like I agree with her on, or do you think that it's that you want to know the surprises before it actually happens? Sound off in the comments. But I think it's best for this to come up with predictions and theories than trying to spoil everything to yourself, and even on the internet, which that's like I agree with her, that's bad on the internet. Like, for those who try to spoil things and reveal things reveal things like that, like, please stop, like, knock it off. Like, if it's not a prediction or theory, do not even spoil it to those fans, because most normal fans like do not want to get spoiled until it happens onto the show. But we're gonna move on to the wrestling news now, and it's some Sunny Kiss news now. As Sunny Kiss talks about Trinity is absolutely fantastic, and Sunny Kiss commented on her match with Trinity at the other day in a couple of days from the latest episode of Impact Wrestling, November at the Clash on the November the 16th episode of Impact, like like in a absolute that was taped the night after Bound for Glory, like where they or the November 16th. I mean, yeah, because it's taped. It says Bound for Glory, where Kiss made her Impact debut, like speaking to Mike Johnson at PW Insider, like Kiss discussed like sharing the ring with Trinity 5-2. And this is what she had to say. Like, Trinity is absolutely fantastic. It was only a matter of time before Trinity and I wrestled. We thought we both heard, we kind of laughed, like kind of laugh. We thought we would be teaming up. Like, I wouldn't be opposed to that. Maybe that will happen. Trinity is amazing. She's super athletic. And that's what my mom and dad said about her when she was Naomi in WWE at the time. Like, she's very athletic. But anyways, I've watched her in her career for the last 10 years coming up in this business and being a revolutionary, being one of the greatest women's wrestler that anyone has ever seen. she's super talented, beautiful, athletic. Luckily, this is a girl saying this instead of a guy because Jimmy Uso would have been jealous. It's like, if you're jealous, Jim, main event Jim, how come you're not joining your wife to Impact? I was like, yeah, you're gonna say like, Oos, like, they didn't give me an Impact offer, and if they did, it probably wouldn't be better than WWE. How could I refuse that? I'm like, really, Jim? Really? Why don't you just ask your wife Trinity about an offer? The still into Impact Wrestling. Like, how about a good idea like that? But anyways, athletic. I just knew we were going to put on a clinic. She she and I come from very similar doc, like dancers, cheerleaders, like turned into wrestlers. Like it was only a matter of time before we got in the ring with each other. She said, like she said, like she said onto this interview, like Kiss contract with AEW expired in August, and AEW made the decision to not renew the deal. She has since made various independent appearances, along with showing up in Impact. Like elsewhere during the interview, Sunny Kiss said she would be a for free agent for long. You can find that into the other article onto the same interview from this Fightful article. But what do you think about Sunny Kiss talking about Trinity Fatu being an fantastic in ring competitor, and she got so many things in common with the former AEW star. Y'all let me know in the comment section right down below, and also what you thought about AEW just not offering to renew her contract, which that was very stupid. Like, why didn't you even consider of asking her if she wanted to renew or not? Like, don't just go cold on her like that. Like, can you afford her? Like, and even if you don't see anything storyline wise, like just let her know that. Like, just you're saying like, I'm not sure if we're gonna renew your contract because we don't know have anything storyline wise for you. Like, just be honest. Like people love it when you be honest rather than being dishonest. Like Tony Khan, like no disrespect and no offense. Like you should have been like that, like making sure what the wrestlers want. That's and besides that, if that's what you want in your promotion, right? Then why not do it? But anyways, we're gonna move on to the Chris Jericho says Jericho era is just beginning. Flips a bunch of tables at DDT Pro Wrestling press conference, and it says right here on like upcoming from his match against Konosuke Takeshita, Chris Jericho and him and Chris Jericho. I mean, like on the way to his match tomorrow against Konosuke Takeshita. Chris Jericho and Konosuke Takeshita are set to collide at DDT Ultimate part uh, like Ultimate part on November 12th, like ahead of their bout on Sunday. The two men engaged in a press conference, like in a war of words on November 11th, like Takeshka, Takeshka called Jericho an a-hole, and then Jericho flipped the table after going face to face. Jericho said something to Takeshka. Jericho then grabbed a microphone, or a mic for short, which didn't work, leading to Chris Jericho disposing The mic. Jericho took everyone what he said to Ketchka like would stay between them, but that the Jericho era was just beginning. He then proceeded to flip more tables and derate and and berate reporters and cameramen. And what do you think about Chris Jericho doing that at the press conference, like when his like on the road to his match, like less than 24 hours from now against the Japanese star? Yeah. Excuse me. Sound off in the comments below. We're gonna move on to the Fred Rosser, I guess that's a roster. Fred Rosser, hope I pronounced that right. Formerly known as Darren Young from WWE. Like he challenges Tom Lawler to fifth bout in Japan. And then like Fred Rosser is ready to meet Tom Lawler in Japan. Fred Rosser got the better of Tom Lawler at New Japan Pro Wrestling Lone Star shootout with two O's. Evening the series between the two men at two apiece. After the match, the two competitors shook hands in a sign of respect. In a backstage interview, Rosser challenged Lawler to a fifth match between the two in Japan to decide once and for all who is the backbone of New Japan Strong. Lawler and Rosser have met in a singles competition every every year since 2020. Like Lawler won the first two matches, but Rosser has been the better competitor in the last two bouts. It is unknown if the two men will get their fifth match in Japan. But what do you think about this excuse me. What do you think about this rivalry between Tom Lawler and Fred Rosser? Like for those New Japan fans, and who do you think is going to win this fifth bout if they ever get this match confirmed? Let me know in the comments down below. And we're gonna talk about we're gonna hear about some Powerhouse Hobbs news now, as Powerhouse Hobbs could see himself in a backstage role or acting after his in-ring career ends. And it says right here about from the former TNT champion discusses his goals after wrestling. It says, according to this article, Powerhouse Hobbs is in his Don Callis era, as he's part of the Don Callis family and thriving by dominating the names like Chris Jericho. At some point, Hobbs in his in-ring career will come to a close, and when that time comes, like Hobbs is already thinking of where he could lean. He could lend his expertise, like, and he, expertise, like, and this what he had. This what he had to say. No. Oh yeah, like according to like on the chilling with Ice podcast, this is what they had to say. Like maybe still being a part of wrestling, maybe a backstage role, perhaps, or maybe acting. I would like to be a supervillain in a movie. This is what the Powerhouse Hobbs said. Like and play different roles. I would like to do that. I would like to maybe have my own cooking show one day, possibly on the Food Network, because that's what my mom's trying to do, as she's a pastry chef. But that's a story for another day. Which I'll probably talk about that. Like if I'm making reviews, like Food Network reviews, like I'm doing with AEW and WWE in wrestling. But anyway, different like I would like to do like oh yeah, cooking show, like own grilling show. He said in an interview with Lori Frederick, aka Ice Baby, like from the American Gladiators, like on Chilling with Ice. Oh yeah, like Hobbs is set to team with three other members of the Don Callis family on the November 15th episode of AEW Dynamite as they take on Chris Jericho, Kenny Omega, Kota Ibushi, and Paul White in a street fight, like whether like elsewhere, like during the interview, like Hobbs reflected on his match at AEW All Out with Miro. You can check that out on the other article onto Fightful, which hopefully we'll get to that point, along with Rocky Romero and Swerve Strickland. That's right. But But yeah, y'all let me know in the comments down below what you thought about what Powerhouse Hobbs said, what he wants to do outside of wrestling. Okay, we got some. We got some Undertaker news now. It's a WWE ring, like the WWE. The Undertaker said the WWE rings got a lot softer when Vince McMahon started bumping it. And it said the Undertaker comments on the stiffness of a wrestling ring, and it said then it's according from the dead man. The Undertaker has taken countless number of bumps throughout his career and rest as a wrestler, and wrestlers have described every bump as being in a car crash. Like that, of course they said that because they obviously specifically put that out there. Like that's not like you're landing on a crash pad. Like it's like landing right on a car or on a table, like a very flat table, or even getting hit with the railing or whatever, like very hard material. Like even though it have a little cushion, like, but it's not, it doesn't feel it feels everything but cushion. But anyways, Speaking on the 6 Feet Under podcast, The Undertaker explained how there isn't much give in the ring, but they did get softer when and Vince McMahon started taking bumps. Like the ring got a lot softer after Vince started taking bumps. Taking bumps years ago, he said. Those first generation rings with WWE were nothing more than glorified boxing rings. Like they they freaking hurt, bro, especially in the winter, when your body is already stiff and it's cold outside, and you're doing double shot days, like the second show on a double shot day, your body the doesn't loosen up the second time the way it does the first time. Those those were pretty snug, hitting some of those in cold areas, he said. Like the rings changed, and the protocols have changed in WWE over the years as the sport has tried to get as safer despite the inherent inherent risk that comes with being a wrestler. Like elsewhere during the 6 Feet Under podcast, the Undertaker discussed wrestling getting softer and not softer. You can find his comments into the other article, but what do you thought about the Undertaker saying it was like basically 100 times harder than what it is today. Like they got more safer in WWE nowadays because there's protocols. There's what's that there's paramedics that's usually out there in case of injuries occurred or anything and anything when it comes to risky spots in during wrestling matches. Like but back in the day, it wasn't not even half of that. In his into wrestling, it was worse than boxing. Like especially if you wrestle in a second match, it's not as easy as the first time because your first time you're already prepared. You're double times prepared in the match. Especially in the wintertime, it's very you're already stiff enough because you just went into the inside the facility, and it's not easy because you're already stiff enough. And yeah, sound off in the comments what you guys think. But we're gonna move on to the next news now. Is we got some updates from AEW Collision tonight of the preview of Sting, Darby Allin, and Adam Copeland teaming tonight, and also Andrade against Daniel Garcia. And then there's the match. And then we got some reviewing the information and lineups for AEW Collision on tonight's show on November 11th, 2023. And we got some matches right here, like Roos and Jalistico versus the Workhorsemen of JD Drake and Anthony Henry. We have Willow Nightingale against Julia Hart. We got Daniel Garcia against Andrade El Idolo. Afterwards, he confronts what's CJ Perry to see if she's gonna be his manager. Sting and Darby Allin will take on Adam Copeland and Adam Copeland, Sting, and Darby Allin take on the Righteous is Vincent and Dutch and Lance Archer, as the Righteous is joining Lance Archer and Jake the Snake Roberts' alliance, and in Fightful, and and it said, according to Fightful, we'll keep you up to date, like when the show comes on the air. But that's only a few matches, which they announced like from yesterday's Rampage and even Dynamite. A couple of these, like, and even last week with the Adam Copeland and Sting and Darby Allin match against the Righteous, Dutch and Vincent and Lance Archer. But yeah, and then yesterday we heard the announcement of Rush and Jalistico against the workhorsemen of J.D. Drake and Anthony Henry, and also Willow Nightingale against Julia Hart, which I believe that could be a sign that this could be Sky Blue could turn heel now, or she could wait until she becomes number one contender for Chris Statlander's TBS championship. Like if she wins the opportunity and face Chris Statlander at Full Gear, that's when she can make her confirmed heel turn and win the TBS championship. But we're gonna move on to the Kevin Owens. We're gonna move on to WWE with Kevin Owens news now. Is that it's been reported that Kevin Owens, it claims that Kevin Owens is suspended for attacking Austin Theory and Grayson Waller on the November 10th show of Friday Night SmackDown. Kevin Owens gets hit with a suspension, like like when Kevin Owens filled in for Corey Graves on commentary for the November 10th episode of WWE Friday Night SmackDown, as Graves have was away following his wife Carmella giving birth to their son on Wednesday, which once again for the third time in a row, like I said on last night's SNA podcast and afterwards on Instagram. I said it before, and I said it before twice, and I'll say it again for the third time in a row. I want to wish y'all congratulations and many more blessings for you guys in the future. Even though I don't really like you on television, but I'll say for as a fellow wrestling journalist, I should say, like you, well, Corey Graves is a professional. I'm a YouTuber journalist. Like, and I want to wish you congratulations, and same with your wife, Carmelo. Not Carmella with an A, Carmella. Carmella, like for giving birth to your son, and many more blessings for you and your family, and upon yourselves in the future. Like thousands or if not millions of blessings upon y'all as a real life family in the future. But anyways, like it says right here, on one condition, he could not get physical with competitors while part of the commentary team. Owens was on his best behavior until he was harassed by Grayson Waller and Austin Theory. The duo post poured water on Owens's head, made fun of him, and threw the bottle at Kevin Patrick. Owens took offense to the last act and attacked Waller in Theory. His attack left WWE SmackDown general manager Nick Aldis no choice but to suspend him and get his and get his tie back. I forgot to talk about that on that segment, that and also reported that my apologies from last night's review of Friday Night SmackDown that Kevin Owens got suspended, which I totally forgot about that because it was right before the main event even started. Like because it was right after that he brawled with Austin Theory. I and I also totally forgot genuinely that once you're a commentator, you cannot get physical and under no circumstances or you get suspended. Like which that's what happened for poor Kevin Owens. Even though they attacked him first and threw water onto his head, but and he went out there and fought him and hit a stunner to Grayson Waller, and they threw him right to both sides of Barry Barricade onto the ramp. But he accidentally forgot that he was a commentator at the time. Like or realized that he was not supposed to do that for his duties of the night of being the special guest commentator to fill in for Corey Graves. Like, and yeah, what do you thought about this? And how long do you think he's going to be suspended, or how long did Nick Aldis suspend him to? Which I never, but I never got the chance to hear what Nick Aldis specifically suspended him for. Like, yeah, he didn't mention that. Like, I'm not sure when he's going to be suspended, but perhaps I would say probably for a month until December. It's probably a 30-day suspension. He'll probably be back like in the earliest week of December. So I probably wouldn't worry that much about the prize fighter missing action for the next couple of weeks, or for a few weeks, I should say. But it's gonna be a bummer to see him not on television, like of him kicking butts onto the likes of Austin Theory and Grayson Waller on Friday Night SmackDown. But yeah, we'll see him again. It will probably be for 30 days, and there's a 30-day suspension, and suspension, and it's gonna be, and we're probably not gonna see him on TV unless they do an angle that Kevin Owens will possibly be back, and then Nick Aldis will try to raise the suspension for 2 months. And then we're gonna do this into a storyline until, like, if he gets a match, like, then his suspension will be lifted. But if he don't, then he'll triple his suspension. Like, do that kind of angle. But I'm not sure if that will happen. He'll probably be out for 30 days. Then he'll get his full vengeance on Waller and Austin Theory with a little help. Which I said that Kevin Owens will face Grayson Waller and Austin Theory in the tag team match in the next week or two. Which I think those plans are going to be changed, probably, of course, if there's any plans of that, of course. Which I'm not saying they planned this, but I'm saying if there was a plan, like they probably got changed, like just the theory and just the theory, of course, nothing been confirmed by backstage, nothing from backstage, higher ups and creative, yeah, of course, and bookers, yeah, and not from the backstage producers that's writing onto the storylines onto Friday Night SmackDown, of course. But yeah, y'all let me know what y'all think, how long he's gonna be suspended in the comments below. We got some Asuka aligning with Damage Control news now, as from last night's Friday Night SmackDown, the Kabuki Warriors finally reunited with each other, but alongside Tropicana Bailey, Io Sky, and Dakota Kai. And by the way, when I call Bailey Tropicana Bailey, it's just a nickname that I gave her because that's what she called a city that I went to Sunday Night Stunner, like the city that I was in my home state. She called it Tropicana, like basically, like because the city starts with the letter T, where the state that I'm from. But I'm from a town. I'm from the college town that's like 20 minutes away from the city that WWE was having their house show at. And she called the city Tropicana. That's all I can tell you. I can't tell you what the state, because that would reveal what town I'm at. I can't name what state I'm in because that would reveal the town that I'm at. Like because like, yeah, because I'm from because I'm close where the cities and state is at. Yeah, like, so I'm not gonna be in too much in detail, but let's just say it was at a live event house show with the city that's nearby my hometown, like that starts with the letter T. But that's because that's where she got the Tropicana part. But anyway, I'm gonna talk about more of this wrestling, about this on the wrestling news. Like about Asuka linked up with Damage Control to close the November 10th episode of WWE Friday Night SmackDown, turning on Bailey. I mean not Bailey, Bianca Belair. And Charlotte Flair in the process. Asuka teamed with Bianca and Flair to take on Io Sky, Kyrie Sane, and Bailey in the six-woman tag main event. Asuka turned her back on her partners, like misting misting Bianca and reuniting with her Kabuki Warrior partner, Kyrie Sane, which I expected her to reunite with her, but not in this manner. This was a huge shocker of the night. Like I said on my SNA SmackDown review, make sure you check that out. Shotzi tried to save Charlotte and Bianca, but the numbers were too much on Damage Control. Stood tall to close the show, which I said on my podcast as well. It was too much, and it got the better of Shotzi when she tried to save Charlotte and Bianca. But and also said earlier in the night, Kyrie Sane stated she forgave Bailey for the attack on her running her out of WWE in 2020, leading to a group hug with Kyrie, Bailey, Io, and Dakota. They were confronted by Bianca and Charlotte, and returning Asuka to set up the main event. But what you thought about this shocking segment, like and this post match beatdown from Damage Control onto Bianca, Shotzi, and Charlotte? Let me know in the comments down below. We're gonna move on to next. We're gonna move on to next week's match on SmackDown, which is L.A. Knight versus Jimmy Uso, and also returning Solo Sikoa, set for November 17th, Friday Night SmackDown. And it says right here, according to this article, say check out the lineup for the November 17th episode of Friday Night SmackDown. L.A. Knight will look for revenge on the November 17th episode of WWE SmackDown as he takes on Jimmy Uso, wannabe main event GM. It says right here, Knight said on the November 10th episode of Friday Night SmackDown that he wasn't done with the bloodline and said Jimmy was the reason why he wasn't the undisputed WWE Universal Champion. Jimmy put Roman Reigns' foot on the ropes, on the rope, I should say, in the bottom rope on the right side of Rita the ring post at WWE Crown Jewel when Knight looked to have the victory in hand. Plus, fresh from his domination of John Cena at WWE Crown Jewel, Solo Sikoa will return as well. What do you think? What's also next for next week's show of Friday Night SmackDown? Sound off in the comments below. And who you think's gonna win? Which y'all would guess it will be L.A. Knight, which I would say he could, but then again, it could be some outside interference that could cost him the match, and he could start a feud with somebody else just to step away from the bloodline feud for a while. But it looks like this match has LA Knight's name written all over it, but we'll see what's going to happen in 6 nights from now, which will be in November 17th. But yeah, we're going to move on to the next. We're going to move on to the next news now as like more LA Knight news. He's saying, I'm not done. He said, I'm not done with the bloodline. Roman Reigns until I win the WWE Championship. LA Knight is done by the blood, not done by the bloodline. Like LA Knight, LA Knight failed to capture the undisputed WWE Universal Heavyweight Championship at Crown Jewel, losing to Roman Reigns in the main event of the show. Knight seemingly had the match won, but Jimmy Uso put Roman's foot onto the ropes after the BFT spot. And on November 10th, like episode of WWE, SmackDown LA Knight said he wasn't going to apologize for losing because he would be the champion if it weren't for Jimmy Uso. He also stated that he's not done with the bloodline in Roman Reigns until he wins that WWE championship. Which do you think he's going to be the one that's going to beat Cody Rhodes to it of dethroning the tribal chief, or do you think he's just saying that he's going to get screwed out in another victory like over Jimmy Uso possibly at next week's SmackDown, or do you think he's possibly going to get a rematch and Roman Reigns is going to retain once again, whether if it's a DQ finish or he beats him by a pinfall? Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments below. Like, he made it so sincere that he's not done with the bloodline, which he shouldn't be done because if he was, then that would mean that he simply got buried by the tribal chief. But maybe it's a good thing that they're continuing to go on with this rivalry with LA Knight against the bloodline, because you'll give him something to do while he's on SmackDown, especially continuing his spot in the main event scene. But I mean, he could face someone like in the mid card or even someone else that's like main event worthy that's on SmackDown. But only time will tell when that happens. But and we got some more Kairi Sane news about forgiving Bayley and damage control. We already spoke about this, so we're going to move on to the next news. And we're going to talk about some news about Santos Escobar's heel turn on Rey Mysterio and the LWO on last night's November 10th episode of Friday Night SmackDown. It said Friday's WWE SmackDown opened with Rey Mysterio addressing his WWE United States title loss against to Logan Paul at WWE Crown Jewel. Rey Mysterio was interrupted by Carlito, who accused Santos Escobar or of being the at fault for Rey's loss as he left the brass knuckles in the ring for Logan Paul to use. Carlito was in singles competition after the segment, losing to Bobby Lashley, as Lashley and the Street Profits, Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins, were attacking Carlito after the match. Santos Escobar, or just Escobar onto this article, stood idly by Mysterio, made the save with the chair. Mysterio checked on Carlito when he was attacked by Escobar. Ray slapped Santos and hit him with a forearm, causing Escobar to fall to the apron. Ray followed him out, and Escobar shoved him right into the ring post before kicking the steps into Ray's leg. Zelina Vega came out, got in Santos Escobar's face, causing him to walk away. As he was leaving, Santos said that Ray had it coming. When asked why he attacked, fans can see the coverage on to the next article, but we're kind of running out of time right now. But we're gonna do one more video. But what you thought about Santos Escobar turning heel and saying he let him no choice but to do this to him, and and do and what do you think about this? Like entirely about what you thought about Santos being the one to attack what's his name to what you thought about Santos attacking Rey Mysterio and turning heel on him just because Carlito accused him of putting the brass knucks on it. Even if he wasn't guilty of leaving the brass knucks for Logan Paul, he's not making it any better by attacking Carlito and Rey Mysterio in the process and messing up Rey Mysterio's leg by hitting it right on to Simba the Steel Steps on the inside of Simba the Steel Steps. But I believe he purposely did that to confirm his heel turn, and it looks like he's out of the LWO, at least for now. And he was talking to B-Fab, possibly trying to get in with the Hurt Business. If he wanted to, why didn't he just went up to Bobby Lashley himself if he wants into the Hurt Business, the new improved version of the group? But if that was the case, then like, why did it like that? Like, excuse me. And also, oh yeah, and like I said, I just cannot see Santos Escobar teaming with the Hurt Business because they're like two different kind of brawling businessmen, like that always beat their opponents up and and get paid at the end of the day and handle business and dress up in suits like if they have a conference building and a conference office like that, they have to come up with inventions and pitch ideas for their next brutally beat downs. But sound off in the comments what you think about this theory. And okay, this final one is something that we already did. I guess I'm going to end this video right here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed my wrestling news review. And that was your list of the wildest wrestling news stories and rumors that you SNA fans need to know. And this is the Fightful from the Fightful article. And make sure you can check it out right now on Google. And hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what was your favorite wrestling news story onto this list. Like, let me know in the comments down below and about that as well. And hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. And if you did, please leave a huge thumbs up, comment down below, subscribe, click the bell notifications so you can be notified when I upload my upcoming videos. Like my upload tonight on AEW Rampage, not Rampage, Collision. Yeah, my bad. I already did Rampage. You can check that out, which will be episode 116, which will be, or 17, no, 17, episode 17, right, and part 13 of, check that out alongside SmackDown. And I've been your host, Super Ninja Austin, on this latest edition of the SNA podcast, episode 118, the Wrestling News part 37. And I'll see you all tonight on AEW Collision when it's gone to a close. Until the next time, Super Ninja Austin, the assassin, is out. See you this evening, and I hope you all have a great Saturday afternoon. Bye-bye, SNA fans.